disclaimer, you need an undershirt under the white shirt. You have to have the undershirt under the white shirt.
Sometimes the undershirt causes more sweat, though. Be careful.
Canty and Carlin, weekdays at 3 Eastern on ESPN Radio, the ESPN app, and on SiriusXM Channel 80.
Coming to you live from the Superbook Sports Studios in Kettering. You're listening to Dayton's ESPN Radio, 1410 Wing AM.
That you and I picked a job where we only work from 3 to 6 every day.
Right. There's nothing to do until 3 o'clock when we jump on the microphone and start talking about sports. There's absolutely nothing to do until then.
If you are a lazy person, I highly suggest you get into sports talk. You don't have to do anything.
No meetings.
Sports, no meetings, no sales calls,
no reports.
But we are happy to be here.
Absolutely.
We really are, actually. There are worse problems to have. We glad to be hanging out with you guys here today. Happy, what is it, Wednesday?
Mm-hmm.
Hump day.
Mm-hmm.
Rolling. Excited for today's show. We got a couple big guests coming up here around the corner. Sam LeCure with the Cincinnati Reds and the TV side of things with them, former Red. He's going to hang out with us about 40 minutes from now. We'll chat it up with him. A lot to get into. Again, the Reds have extended their losing streak to 6 games now.
Wow.
Is it time to panic, Reds fans? Is it time to panic? We're going to get into that with Sam LeCure coming up here around the corner. For you WWE wrestling fans, we're going to catch up with Montez Ford coming up. His wife is Bianca Belair. Kev, you like Bianca Belair?
Hi, Bianca.
Yeah, you like Bianca Belair.
Hi.
Kev ain't going to do the interview, though, because there's no Bianca.
Yeah. It'd be totally different if she was
When's
there.
your birthday?
April.
Oh, damn. Well, we'll work on getting Bianca Belair on the show. How about that?
I would appreciate it.
I don't know if you drooling over her with her husband coming on the show is such a smart idea. Just throwing that out there. But
I'm pretty fast. I can run.
Happily married too. So just
that.
Yeah, that. And by the way, he's faster. Montez Ford is.
I'm sure
He was the athlete of the year in North Carolina through high school. He's track. He ran track. He went to the military. All that.
Yeah, and I got cut from my high school basketball team twice.
And running after the ice cream man, but I can catch up. Got there a little bit late, but nonetheless, WWE superstar Montez Ford hangs out with us coming up shortly. WWE Smackdown going to be live at Wright State University's Nutter Center August 4th, the night before SummerSlam, which is in Detroit. Wrestling fans, head to wingam.com, click on the win tab at the top, and register to win a pair of Smackdown tickets or SummerSlam tickets, or maybe both. It's not a dream. It's not a dream.
Double fisted.
All right. So the NFL season, the college football season, all that stuff is coming up just around the corner. I mean, we're ready for it. I know that all of you guys are as well. And it's interesting because we do a lot of lists, right? We call it list season. We don't really mean to get into this list topic here today, but that's kind of where we're at as we currently sit here. Came across an article that was talking about some of the top 10 coaches in the hot seat heading in. And named some of the names on here that kind of surprised me, Kev. For one, the name that they have as the number one coach on the hot seat is Todd Bowles from the Buccaneers. How you take away Tom Brady over the last 2 years, you give him Baker Mayfield, who I like, but it's not your Joe Burrows. It's not your upper echelon of quarterbacks. How do you put Todd Bowles as the number one coach on the hot seat heading into 2023? I'm not there with that.
Not number one in my top 5. Yes, but not number one. Did he make your top 5?
He did not make my top 5.
Okay.
I have a criteria as to why. I don't have him in my top 5, and I'll explain that. What the hell? We'll just go ahead and we'll hit the music, and we can kind of get started. My thing is this: I hate how impatient NFL franchises are with coaches when you give them when you hire a head coach. Okay, you hire a head coach, and they don't have a quarterback, and the only way to win in this league is to have a quarterback. And then when your coach isn't winning, you're like, "What the hell are you doing?" And it's like you don't have a quarterback. So that's why I'm a little. That's why I don't have Todd Bowles there at the top. Like Tom Brady retired 2 years ago. And then all of a sudden it's just been been recycling quarterbacks. It just nothing's worked. You don't have a franchise quarterback yet. So that's why when I look at my list, and we don't have to really go in list style, but the coach I have on the hot seat that should have been fired last year is Brandon Staley. I mean, absolutely ridiculous. I mean, we talked with Jay Morrison yesterday, Bengals reporter. He even said, he goes like, look, Joe Burrow should be paid more than Justin Herbert, but he even believes Justin Herbert is a more talented quarterback than Joe Burrow. So how the hell has Brandon Staley not figured it out? Like, I'm sorry, he should not have been rehired. I have no clue why that is. And by the way, for you Dayton Flyers getting all your panties in the water, I really don't care. He's a Dayton Flyer, and he's doing a poor job. He has Justin freaking Herbert at quarterback and can't win freaking football games. Absolutely ridiculous. But I'd have him at the top.
He's also
in your top 5.
He's number 1 for me, hands down. I mean, especially going into this season. I mean, you drafted the wide receiver out of TCU, so he's going to be your number 2. You still got Mike Williams out there, and then you got Keenan Allen working the slot. I mean, all your receivers, your starting wide receivers are all 6'3" and above. You got a top tier quarterback. You got Austin Eckler trapped on your team. You're forcing him to come back. That offense should be super explosive, barring injury. And, you know, I know like last year he wasn't doing all the wonky things like going for it on 4th and 15 and things of that nature, but they still blew a big time lead in the playoffs versus Jacksonville Jaguars, and that goes on him. So he's number 1 for me for sure.
Yeah, when they brought him back, it was the fact that he came back when you had a chance to go get Sean Payton. That to me is just absolutely insane. But we'll see what ends up happening. Number 2 on my list, Kevin Stefanski. I mean, enough is enough. I mean, every year it's something with Cleveland. Every year there's an excuse. Every year it's well, we thought Baker was a guy. He's not our guy. We thought OBJ was going to work in this offense. It doesn't work out. Well, COVID. Stuff that's valid, by the way. However, doesn't matter. Like, this is sports. It's cutthroat. There is no like, oh, by golly, he's a good person and reads the Bible, so I guess we'll let him stick around. No, it's put up or shut up time. Last year, last year they underperformed, but remember, keep in mind, they didn't have Deshaun Watson for 11 games. Okay, you had him in 6 games in the back end. What'd you do? So I have no problem with the Browns keeping Stefanski after last year. Give him a full offseason, give him a full season of Deshaun Watson, all of that. But if Kevin Stefanski and the Browns, if they don't make the playoffs, if they don't win a playoff game at the very least, to be honest, Kevin Stefanski, all he has to do is make the playoffs. You make the playoffs in Cleveland, you're fine. You're coming back another year. But you miss the playoffs this year, Kev. To me, that seat is not just red hot. It's boiling, and to the point where it's boiling over. Stefanski, it's playoffs or nothing. And I still think the bar should be higher, but walk before you run. I think get to the playoffs, and Kevin Stefanski's fine, but he's number 2 on my list. And again, it goes back to my criteria. You have a quarterback. If you have Case Keenum as your quarterback, I'm not going to sit there and say Kevin's job is on the line. But when you have Deshaun Watson, you paid him all that money. Yes, it's kind of expected that you make the playoffs. They didn't pay Deshaun that money to flirt with the playoffs. He doesn't even be doing any flirting either, by the way. Just knowing that, make the playoffs, Kevin. Make the playoffs.
Not to regurgitate what you just said about Stefanski. The only difference I would say is I have him at number 5, not number 2.
Okay.
He's definitely in my top 5. Pressure's on.
Number 3 from pressures. So do you have a top 5 or just 5?
Yeah, I have him in order.
In order.
I have him in order.
Number 3. Oh, well, hold on your list. So who's number 1 on your list?
Oh, Brandon Staley.
And then
without a doubt. Yeah. And then we can go with yours. I mean, I'm liking where you're going for a change.
Okay. So I'll just do mine, and you'll do yours, and then we can go from there. But Brandon Staley is number 1 on my list. I know once a Flyer, always a Flyer. Well, I hope the Chargers are as loyal to him as you guys are. Let's just put it that way. Kevin Stefanski coming in at number 2. Win playoffs or go home. Robert Saleh is coming up at number 3 on my list. And for one, he was kind of on the verge of the hot seat last year. I think the Jets, but the Jets are doing what I think you should do is, well, we kind of don't know if you're the guy, but let's give you a quarterback. Let's give you, I know they drafted what they thought was their quarterback, but you got Aaron Rodgers now, and you have a ton of weapons in the passing game. You have a very good running back, very good defense. If Robert Saleh can't win with Aaron Rodgers, I don't care how stacked the AFC is. I mean, to me, this is where you're really going to find out who the good coaches are in the AFC. This is why I'm a big fan of Zach Taylor, as much as it pains me to say. I really do. I do like, and this, as much Bengals bashing as I've done, I've actually defended him even last year when you Bengals fans wanted him gone. But you find out who the good coaches are once you get the weapons in place. Robert Saleh, you have everything in there. It's win this year. You got to make the playoffs. If the Jets don't at least make the playoffs, just like the Browns, you got to go home. Brandon Staley, Stefanski, Saleh, if those 3 aren't in the playoffs, I believe they're all going home.
I don't have Robert Saleh in my top 5. I think if they win 10 games and still miss the playoffs, I think he's perfectly fine. It kind of be like one of those years okay, we're on the right track. Now this following year, all right, we're going to make our run next year. So I think that he has a 2-year window to make something really happen with the Jets.
The Justin Kinner Show Facebook page is where you could watch us live right now. It is the Kinner and Kev show, but I'm not changing the Facebook name. You got to wait for that. Then you got to change it. So I'm being selfish. So it is what it is. But people have asked that. I'm like, I'm not sliding Kev. Relax. Kev don't want anything to do with that Facebook page. Let's just be real. Okay, you've seen the mess that's on there. No, but the Justin Kinner Show Facebook page, that's where you could watch us live, as well as our ESPN Dayton YouTube channel. So go and hang out with us over there. So Brandon Staley 1, Kevin Stefanski 2, Robert Saleh comes in at 3 on my list. Number 4 on coaches on the hot seat list, Matt Eberflus with the Bears. Again, I have a theme here. You have a quarterback, the Chargers, Brandon Staley of Justin Herbert, Kevin Stefanski of Deshaun Watson, Robert Saleh of Aaron Rodgers, and Matt Eberflus, you have Justin Fields. And last year was that like, okay, I appreciate the fact that, okay, they weren't going to make him continue to try and throw the ball when you have no weapons, try to take advantage of his strengths the way the Ravens did with Lamar early in his career. But this year, you went out and got receivers. You got some talent now. So now you need to go out and show that you can build upon what they did last year. I don't know what the ceiling is. Like, yeah, it's the NFC. I think playoffs. I'm not even going to say division, but you should make the playoffs. You should win more than you lose. And I really like the weapons they have for Justin Fields. So if you can't win with Justin Fields and that's supposed to be your guy, then you need to go bye-bye, in my opinion.
So playoffs.
Playoffs.
Wow.
The NFC especially.
They won 3 games last year.
The Bengals won 2 and were in a Super Bowl. No, they won 4 games, I guess, that year before, and we're in a Super Bowl a year later. Are you as a Buckeye fan, are you down on Justin Fields?
I'm not down on Justin Fields, but if they won 8 games, that's 5 more than they won last year. That's a crazy good improvement.
You want to know what your problem is? You said, I like where you're going with this. And since then, it's got a little dicey. It's got a little dicey. And then
on the rails.
Yep, number 5 on my list, Dennis Allen with the Saints. For one, I don't think Dennis Allen's a long-term solution in New Orleans to begin with. But you go out, you make a big trade, you go and get your quarterback now. Obviously, in Carr, you don't win. I think he's done too. And I could see if they don't win with Carr, I feel like this is the last push with the Saints before they move on from Kamara and Michael Thomas and some of these other. I think they're going in one more time to see if they can get it done with Carr. If not, I think Dennis Allen's gone. I think they move on from Kamara. I think they move on from Michael Thomas. I think they blow this up and start over if things don't go well this year. But I think the NFC has forced some of these teams to look at it like, all right, let's not start a rebuild yet. Let's try this thing and see what the NFC looks like. So there we go. Dennis Allen coming in at number 5 on my list.
Okay, I like it. So number 1 for me, we talked about it before, Brandon Staley. Clearly number 1 for both of us. I mean, we talked about it. We talked about the 4th and 15s and not taking field goals 2 years ago, and then the debacle in the playoffs versus Jags. So he's number 1 by far for me. Number 2 for me, Mike McCarthy. Mike McCarthy's up high on that list because he is the head coach of quote-unquote America's team. When you're talking about the Dallas Cowboys, the pressure on them to win playoff games and to get back to the Super Bowl, I mean, I think it's been 28 years?
It's been more than that. I think the last one was mid-90s. Yeah, so we're coming out 30 years.
30 years.
30 years.
Since the Dallas Cowboys have made it to the Super Bowl. The pressure's on because guess what? It's easier to get rid of a coach than it is to get rid of a player. So Mike McCarthy, hot seat. Number 3 for me, Josh McDaniels. Yes, I know Josh McDaniels is from Ohio. He's from Canton and everything like that. But this is the second time he's been a head coach. You saw what happened with the Denver Broncos, even though his team did beat my beloved Pittsburgh Steelers in the playoffs with Tim Tebow. But you ran Derek Carr out of town. You got Devontae Adams. You have porn star Jimmy there. Your big-time running back isn't in camp. Defense is not that good, especially in the secondary. The only defensive player on that team that I can name is Max Crosby. I don't think I can name a linebacker, another defensive end, a safety, or corner, or nothing. So you don't have a ton of talent on that team. And guess what? You play Kansas City twice a year. So Josh McDaniels, you are on the hot seat, my friend. Number 4 for me, Todd Bowles. I know I like what you said about Todd Bowles. Like, is it truly fair? But this is pro sports. It's never fair. And we talked about players getting cut, running backs not getting their money. It's not fair. But for me, you look at that team, they have everything besides a quarterback. They have the running game. They have the offensive line. They have the wide receivers. They have the defense. If you can't make the playoffs with 4 of the 5 necessary tools, it's a problem. They squeaked into the playoffs last year with a losing record. This year, that minimum 10 wins for Tampa Bay. You have everything.
Super Bowl.
No.
Like,
they just got to make the playoffs. They make the playoffs. He's good. He's fine. But, I mean, they have everything else. They got a good offensive line. They got the running game. They got the wide receivers. And you got a great defense. Like, I mean, we saw this with Baker with Cleveland. Like, he's able to get a team to the playoffs with all those other parts around him. I don't see that being any different in Tampa Bay than it was in Cleveland with Baker Mayfield. So the pressure's on for Todd Bowles to at least make the playoffs. And number 5, Kevin Stefanski. You look at the back half of that last season, man. I know that Deshaun Watson, I was a perfect person to say, hey, man, he hasn't played football in 2 years, but like, it just looked bad. Not only he looked bad, but the team looked bad. I mean, I remember being home for the holidays and I saw the Saints beat the Cleveland Browns in Cleveland. It was that Arctic blast that came through.
That was cold, Kev.
Yeah, a dome team came up to Cleveland and won. I don't know how that happened, but it sure did happen.
Probably
so, Kevin, I'll give you two excuse bells for that. So, Kevin Stefanski, you got your quarterback the whole offseason. Everything's working in your favor. You got wide receivers on the team. You got a running back. You got an offensive line. You kicked out the coach on the defensive side of the ball. You got a new defensive coordinator over there. You got Myles Garrett. You got all these big names. It's time for these big names really to cash in and make some plays.
Yeah, so in a top 10 list, every coach you just mentioned would be my top 10. I just put more emphasis on if you got an elite quarterback, you got to win. Like, at the end of the day, I mean, honestly, if Sean Payton, if this wasn't his first year, I'd be like, hey, your expectation, but he's on the hot seats his first year
right
there. McCarthy, I'm torn on because even when they're supposed to lose, like, this isn't a homer thing. I don't mind McCarthy. He has deficiencies, but I think they've overcome a lot of stuff too at the same time. Is their roster loaded? Do you think their roster's loaded?
Defensively.
Okay. Because, like,
Micah Parsons.
I just don't. I don't. Defensively, yes, very good defense. But up until last year, remember the year before that, they were very poor defensively.
Right.
So it's like, okay, after 1 year, Parsons is broken. I mean, that was a huge get for the draft. Diggs has been one of them, like, interception
boom or bust.
Yep,
yeah.
That type of thing. But they, the stat about him that's interesting is, yes, he gets a lot of interceptions, but they also don't target him a lot too.
Right.
So, like, he kind of splits the field that way. I like Cowboys defense, but I mean, we know it's all about the offense as far as that goes. That's why I'm just not a big fan of the offense. I'm a big fan of Dak. I'm not a big fan. I'll take him over probably 80% of the league. Don't get me wrong, but they have the good run game. But I mean, hey, the league's telling you F the run game. I mean, so, and I don't like they got rid of Amari Cooper. If they still have Amari Cooper and you had CeeDee Lamb as your second best wide receiver and all that, by all means, yes. But it's like they still seem something just seems off. I don't know what it is, but there's just something. They're one piece away, and I do think it's another wide receiver. I think that's really what's missing more than anything.
For me, for the life of me, I don't understand why they let Schultz go. I have no idea why they let him go. Like, and he ended up signing a 1-year deal in Houston. So it doesn't make sense from either perspective. You let him go, and then you leave and you sign a 1-year deal with the Texans. I'm sure the Dallas Cowboys probably could have matched that deal, and you could have stayed where you were the second guy. You know what I'm saying? Next to CeeDee Lamb. Like, so for me, I'm questioning some of the decisions made. Like, unless that defense is about to be playing like the Ravens, which we severely doubt, but I don't know, man. I'm not liking how the Cowboys season is gonna turn out, man, because I got Philly obviously winning that division, but don't sleep on the Commandos. Don't sleep on the Commandos.
I'm amazed at how many people. I love their coach.
Rivera.
I love Rivera. I would love him in Cleveland in a heartbeat. Oh, he's not an offensive. I think get an offensive coordinator. I mean, I'm tired of that excuse too.
They got the enemy now.
Yeah. So we'll see, and that could be, and I think that's why a lot of people are putting him on the hot seat. It's because if not, it's that coach and waiting type situation, and that's where Bieniemy's first shot's going to come. But very interesting ones coming in the chat section. I appreciate all the interaction on the Justin Kinner Show Facebook page. So let's come into this. So Troy on Facebook, and we'll make sure this is set to where people can actually read these. He has Mike McCarthy 1 on his list. He has McDermott at 2.
Oh,
I don't mind that. I didn't
even think of that.
I wouldn't have him in mind, Troy, but I also, Josh Allen's we're past the honeymoon stage with Josh Allen. It's kind of at the point now, so that ain't bad. Harbaugh at 3. That's another one. All right, so he has Staley and Saleh in there, but McDermott and Harbaugh. Let's look at that. We'll talk about that on the other side. I think that's a good one. Let's see. Adam Selzner says honorable mention Kyle Shanahan. Very interesting names, and it's not when you really start to think about it, it's not terrible because there's levels to this, right? It's what we say. There's levels. Like I go back to the Dusty Baker thing with the Cincinnati Reds. win a ton of games, get to the postseason. We would kill for a manager that's regularly getting us to the postseason now and winning a lot of games on the regular. But once you started winning a lot of games regularly and getting to the playoffs regularly, Reds fans got bored and said, okay, you need to take it up a notch. Dusty Baker got booted because, all right, you got us here, but now we need to go to that next step.
Right.
We don't know if you're the guy that take us to that next step. That's kind of where Kyle Shanahan is. I've never seen a coach without a Super Bowl be lauded as the guy. Like Sean McVay, luckily for him, he's won a Super Bowl to get him over that. But some good stuff coming in. Shaw has Stefanski at 1, McDermott, another McDermott one. Maybe we missed the boat on the McDermott thing. He has McCarthy at 3, Staley 4, and another Shanahan. All right, we're going to talk about this. 518-1410. Shanahan and McDermott.
Call us, please.
We're getting a lot of those.
I want to hear about the Kyle Shanahan. I want explanations on that one.
518-1410. Give us a call. We'll step away for a few moments. Why McDermott? Why Shanahan? Is it fair to have them on the hot seat list heading into the 2023 season? We'll be right back. Kenner and Cap, 1410 Wing AM.
Listen, stream, watch. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, right here on Dayton's ESPN Radio, 1410 Wing AM. ESPN 1410 Wing AM weather.
Our forecast, partly cloudy, 69 tonight. Chance of showers and thunderstorms, and 87 tomorrow. Friday, it's mostly sunny and a high of 80. I'm Rick Schremp for 1410 ESPN Radio.
Sports injury, low back pain, or are you interested in improving your performance and getting to the next level? Orion Sports Medicine is truly a unique sports medicine and physical therapy clinic and training facility. We offer a highly educated staff that is experienced working with athletes from the recreational and youth levels to elite professionals. We offer services that include PT, functional assessment, wellness, fitness, return to sports, sports medicine, strength and conditioning, and more at our state-of-the-art facility in Miamisburg. For more information, visit orionsportsmedicine.com.
Want to feed your family without breaking the bank? Take a trip to Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken and pick up a 16-piece family meal at a great price. With 16 pieces of our classic honey-dipped, hand-breaded Famous Recipe Chicken, 4 craveable large sides, and 8 fluffy biscuits. It's affordable eats done right. Treat your crowd to the best for less with the Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken 16-piece family meal. Only at Lee's. Famous for chicken.
Hi, Greg McAfee here with McAfee Heating and Air. Dayton was founded on blue-collar work. Many Daytonians worked at companies like NCR, McCall's Publishing, Delco, and the Huffy Corporation. Blue-collar work set Dayton apart in innovation and forward thinking. And today, we have a company like McAfee Heating and Air. Our apprenticeship program is a perfect opportunity to get paid while you learn. Go to mcair.com and apply today.
Need legal help? We can help. Hi, this is Mike Foley, your Montgomery County Clerk of Courts. Have you heard about our new help center? It's located at the Montgomery County Courthouse, providing legal information and forms. And we also share programs and resources that may be available to you. Let us help you navigate the court system. Visit us online at courthouse2u.com for more info.
Make memories that will last a lifetime at the Ohio State Fair, July 26th through August 6th. Experience your favorite fair traditions like the Butter Cow, Smoky Bear, the Sky Glider, and livestock animals. Enjoy delicious food, exhilarating rides, shopping, arts, exciting entertainment, live music, education, hands-on activities, and so much more. Get tickets to visit the Ohio State Fair, July 26th through August 6th at ohiostatefair.com.
Okay, next time you're at the store, I dare you to not think about the unmistakable fresh, clean scent of Irish Spring. Yeah, you heard me. I want you to resist picturing a shower filled with those sensational Irish Spring suds. And if you succeed, well, you got what my gramps used to call resolutitude. Not a real word, but let's be honest, you're probably going to end up leaving with Irish Spring because of its irresistible scent, and because you have zero resolutitude. Pick up Irish Spring today.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. So you ordered a new air filter for your car. You try to install it, but it doesn't fit. So you take a little bit off the sides. What, still doesn't fit? Well, you could try to sit on it. Or get it right the first time with eBay Guaranteed Fit. When you see the check, you know that part's going to fit. Air filters, brakes, headlights, over 122 million parts. Get the right parts at the right prices. eBay Motors, let's ride. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Thinking about gas mileage. You know, changing your oil with a full synthetic oil like Valvoline Advanced can help your engine get more miles. Right now, buy a 5-quart jug and get a free STP Extended Life Oil Filter. That's right, free. Get started on your next job today with the parts you need, when you need them, at AutoZone or AutoZone.com.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Yo, 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 what's up, party people? I'm Julie Foudy.
And I'm Lynn Ozawi.
We host the ESPN podcast Laughter Permitted, where we have candid chats with trailblazing women in sports and beyond.
We've talked with goats like Billie Jean King, Simone Biles, Mia Hamm, Sue Bird, Candace Parker, Michaela Schifrin, just to name a few.
So grab a donut or 500 and check us out wherever you get your podcasts. And a huge shout out to our presenting sponsor, Ally, who has supported us since day one.
Timothy's Bar and Grill on Brown Street are huge supporters of the Dayton Flyers. Whether you're one of the 13,000 fans cheering on the Flyers at UD Arena or one of the hundreds of fans packed inside Tim's on game day, there is only two places that you can feel the passion of the Flyer faithful more than anywhere else. Timothy's Bar and Grill is also a sponsor of the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash in the afternoons and the Talking Out Loud Hour on Thursday nights with Sully. Timothy's Bar and Grill on Brown Street. Go Flyers.
Imagine getting ahead of your irritable bowel syndrome with constipation or IBS-C by treating it with Linzess. Then you could start proactively managing your constipation with belly pain and get ahead of your symptoms. Talk to your doctor about Linzess, linaclotide. Linzess is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually.
Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling.
Imagine, what could relief from IBS-C mean for you? Talk to your doctor and say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
Wendy's BOGO $1 deal is back at participating Wendy's. Buy a Dave single spicy chicken sandwich, 10-piece nugs, or medium frosty, and get another for $1. Double your deliciousness. Hurry, this BOGO deal won't last.
The roar of our engines, the pump of our heartbeats, the pedal to our metal, the sparks that ignite us, the pistons that push us, the passions that drive us. From the feelings that move us to the places that pull us on the roads that unite us. With nearly 6,000 stores and over 17,000 auto care centers, Napa has America's largest network of parts and care, here to keep you firing on all cylinders.
School on! Save on!
Back to school is on, and Staples has great prices on everything you need for your best year yet. Save on notebooks. Save on headphones and laptops. Save on pens, markers, and all the essentials. And right now at Staples, save up to 60% on select notebooks, markers, and more. School on, save on at Staples, where school savings are always in session. N729. Prices may vary in-store and online.
Dayton sports fans, don't forget to follow and subscribe to ESPN Dayton's YouTube channel. Listen, watch, interact. Search ESPN Dayton on YouTube.
Everybody, welcome back. Justin Kinner, Kev Nash with you here, Dayton's ESPN radio station, 1410 Wing AM. How about this really cool NIL story, Kev? It involves The Rock.
Okay.
We're Gonna have WWE superstar Montez Ford coming up later on in the show. More wrestling talk here, kind of. The Rock, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, has signed the first 7 college athletes to NIL deals for his energy drink, which is it ZOA or do they just call it ZOA? I'm not really sure. ZOA, all capital letters, so I don't know if they're calling it ZOA or ZOA, whatever. Make fun of me later. But these are big name athletes that he got to endorse this as part of this NIL campaign. It features Ohio State Buckeyes star wide receiver Marvin Harrison Jr. A woman that has just come splashing onto the mainstream scene in Angel Reese with LSU. That's big time right there. Drake May from the quarterback from North Carolina. I think that Brock Bowers from Georgia.
Wow.
There's some big name. Hanson Emmanuel from, again, I don't know all these names, but those are the big ones. Marvin Harrison Jr., Angel Reese, Drake May, Brock Bowers. The big names that The Rock has signed on for an NIL deal to promote his energy drink. So,
that's cool, man.
And they're all posing in a picture, holding up the drink with The Rock. So there you go.
He can send us some.
Yeah, he could.
And some of that money. We're promoted.
We need some NIL money.
Definitely.
Do an NIL deal, but we make nil. So there you go. All right, Kenner and Kev, 1410 Wing AM. We opened up. It just came across an article that had Bill Belichick listed in a seat of, or listed on a list of coaches on the hot seat, and I guess it makes sense. Even if it's a coach, how many Super Bowls he won? 4, 5? 5 Super Bowls over a 2-decade span. And I get that they were all connected to Tom Brady. And I get that Tom Brady has gone on to win one since the divorce and all that stuff. And that's all great. Not his divorce, I guess, but the divorce with the Patriots. Yeah, you see what I mean. But it's just odd to me that, it's a scary thing. When the Bears move on from Ditka, how's that worked out? You haven't seen, you know what I mean? Like there's a lot of Shula, in the Dolphins. How's that worked out? And again, it's just one of them things like, yes, right now it feels like you need to move on from Belichick, but you got to be careful if you're the Patriots at the same time, because it goes back to the way I arranged my list earlier, Kev. I have coaches with elite level quarterbacks are who I'm holding to a higher standard than a guy with a Mac Jones at quarterback. That's kind of where I'm at now. You could bring up the GM stuff and all that. Okay, well, take his GM responsibilities away. Maybe at that point he won't want to be the head coach anymore because he's a power hungry individual. Okay, great. Go your separate ways. But I'm not a big believer in firing him because he's a bad GM. Well, then fire yourself for giving him GM duties then, because you know what I mean? Like, it'll be interesting. I do think the time is coming to an end. I think that the Patriots, if he's on the hot seat now, he should have been on the hot. They should have just moved on right away after the Tom Brady thing, blew it all up and started all over, which they
6 Super Bowls, by the way.
6 Super Bowls.
6 and 3 in Super Bowls.
Not bad. He lost 3. Oof.
Loser.
What a bum.
You know what? I say this, man. Nobody is above reproach. No coach out there should have a golden ticket to just ride this wave until the end of time. So for people to say like he's on the hot seat, I don't think he's on the hot seat now. I think he's on the I'm watching you seat. And if things don't go their way this year, then entering next year, we can enter the talk of hot seat. I think he does have earned enough to say, all right, man, let's see if he can fix this before we fire him type of vibe.
McDermott in Buffalo. I'm seeing a lot of our listeners on Facebook and YouTube. Again, you could watch Kenner and Cav live weekdays from 3 to 6 on the Justin Kenner Show Facebook page. Some of you are doing that now. We appreciate it. The ESPN Dayton YouTube channel as well. So we're getting a lot of stuff coming in. Adam Selzner, as I talked about, he threw Kyle Shanahan's name into the mix. I forgot who it was. Someone threw Harbaugh in there, and I have no problem putting Harbaugh in there. Harbaugh was on the hot seat and was about to be. He announced the Ravens had announced in Lamar's rookie year that him and that the organization and Harbaugh were about to part ways. And then Joe Flacco gets hurt. Lamar becomes a starting quarterback. It re-energizes the team. They end up making the run and making the playoffs that year in Lamar's rookie year. Then that kind of revitalized the career of Harbaugh. But at a certain point, this is where I talk about the honeymoon stage. The Lamar honeymoon stage is over with.
Right.
You're at the stage now where it's like, okay, I'm not going to say, oh, wow, good job. It's okay. You need to go win it. Like, oh, you won a game. Good job. That's no longer, acceptable. You got to get to the playoffs. You got to win in the playoffs. I think Harbaugh I think more people should have Harbaugh on that list as well. And then a name that I got to ask you about your coach. I'm not advocating for him to be on the hot seat, but we talk about there's levels to this.
Mm-hmm.
The Steelers are flatlined. Like, that's great. I mean, the Steelers have made it more of a big deal that he has never had a losing season than saying, okay, but the expectation here is to win.
Right.
So I'm not going to applaud you for winning. Our expectation is to win more than just have a 500 record. I just feel like how long can you go with either not making the playoffs or sneaking into the wild card and getting knocked out early. I just the Tomlin thing fascinates me too, because I'm not really advocating to get rid of him, but at the same time, like, have a little higher standards, would you?
If Mike Tomlin is fired from the Pittsburgh Steelers, he'll have a job before he exits the building.
Yep.
That is that simple.
I'll
He's
take him over Stefanski.
he's one of the best head coaches in the NFL today. For me, I think it's as simple as this. I don't hear the hey, he's never had a losing record from the Pittsburgh Steelers. I hear that from the talking heads in the media. So I think it is time for them to get back on the winning big games and getting into the playoffs and making noise into the playoffs. There's no doubt about it. Like, I think they have enough talent to do so. Yeah, the North is tough, but the North has always been tough. So what's the difference? And I mean, they've shown that ability, obviously, not to quit on seasons and be there. So this league is so tight that if you can get 1 or 2 games to go your way earlier in the season, then you are in the playoffs. I mean, the whole reason that Mr. Trubisky started the season was because, well, all right, we want a veteran quarterback. We don't need a rookie quarterback out there turning the ball over. And then Mitchell Trubisky decided to turn the ball over like a rookie quarterback. So, hey, if you're going to turn the ball over like a rookie, we might as well play the rookie. And then he came in there and started turning the ball over like a rookie. And then eventually he got his feet wet and they started winning some games later in those fourth quarter games. If the Steelers, which they won't do, move on from him, I think it'll be one of the craziest / dumbest things they could ever do, because you take a look back at Bill Cowher. Bill Cowher had a stretch in his tenure as the Pittsburgh Steelers coach where it was basically just like this. It was like, all right, we're just like 500, and then they got some dude named Ben Roethlisberger and won Super Bowl. So is Kenny Pickett going to be that guy to push them over the top? I sure hope so.
So, and a good point here that came in, Steve Stetler, about Belichick real quick before I get back to Tomlin. The division is too tough for the Pats to win. So build a team that could compete there, fine. But you also want Mac. You're going to battle against Aaron Rodgers. You're going to battle against Tyreek Hill and Tua. You're going to battle against Josh Allen with Mac Jones. You had a chance to get, DeAndre Hopkins. You couldn't get that done. Like, it's one thing after another. But these are GM hits on Belichick more than coaching hits. Like, you give that roster to who's the best coach in the NFL then?
Andy Reid. Let's go Andy Reid.
You give him Mac Jones in this Patriots roster. I don't know if he's doing much more with it. I don't think so. Not the GM response. I'm talking about just the roster itself.
Right.
I don't think it's a Belichick coaching issue. I do think his GM stuff's getting in the way. But it is funny, as we were talking about the Tomlin thing, Reggie Romine, if I pronounce your name wrong, my apologies, but Reggie says, on his question, if you're going to consider Belichick, you got to consider Tomlin then. I mean, the never had a losing season argument is eventually going to wear off, which is really what we were talking about in the midst of that coming in, Reggie. So he's not wrong. But you're talking about from an organizational standpoint, there's no concern there. They're content. They're fine. But it is interesting looking around the league, everyone else holding their coach to, I guess, a higher standard. I'm not taking shots, but I don't know if it's just weird to me for a stand-up organization to just tolerate mediocrity. And that's what they've been. They've just been very for a very long time, and they haven't been great in a very long time.
They missed the playoffs by 1 game.
Mm-hmm.
The Ravens were 10-7. The Steelers were 9-8. You look at Jacksonville, they were 9-8 as well. And when you go look at last year going into the season, they were expected to finish last in the North and have a losing record. So for me, it's not only about this, it's more about this season. It's not about all your reputation and things that you've done 10 and 15 years ago. Like, that's great what you did 10 or 15 years ago. My expectation was, all right, what are we expecting from you this season? And I think last season they exceeded what Vegas thought they were going to do. They exceeded what you and I thought they were going to do, because we both had them finishing dead last in the North. So I go on a year-by-year basis. I'm not going to just be like, all right, man, Mike Tomlin is the best coach of all time, yada, yada, yada. They got to make the Super Bowl or he should be fired. No, I was like, all right, what's this team looking like? Now, my expectations for them this year is not 9 wins. My expectations for them this year is 11 wins, minimum.
Not bad for the last place team in the AFC North. Am I right, Bengals fans? Am I right? As we all reunite for this, 518-1410. We do have Reds fans. I appreciate those who are kind of anticipating Sam LeCure. He's going to be joining us here in about, he said, 5 minutes. So we do have time for a quick call. Shaw, what is up? Your final call before we get to our guest. What's going on?
Shawski?
Shaw, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
There we go. Now we can hear you. All right.
Yeah, I got Shanahan on this.
I want to hear this.
Because other than, I mean, I know going to the NFC Championship is a big deal, I guess, in some people's eyes, but what has he done? Like, how many more? That's enough? That's never been enough. Why does he get a pass? Why does McDermott get a pass for just getting to the AFC or NFC Championship? Like, how many more of these do we have to go before the bar, I guess, is raised?
Okay, so let's stick to Shanahan first. So they make it to the NFC Championship game on their third string quarterback. Their third string quarterback gets hurt. Then their fourth string quarterback gets hurt, and they have their running back playing quarterback. Like, they weren't going to win that game. Once that happened, it was over. Like, it was canceled Christmas. There was absolutely no way they were going to win that game with Christian McCaffrey playing quarterback. No way at all. Come on, man. They were not going to win that game, man.
You going to ring the bell?
That's not an excuse. That's a fact. That's a fact.
Injury, like, you ring the bell on Justin every time he brings up injuries. Injuries are facts.
But an entire position group was out. I wasn't against the
in the NFL.
I wasn't against the Shanahan conversation, but like you're upset about why they didn't win this. And if they're winning that, in my opinion, I was picking the Niners over Philadelphia.
I don't know if they would have won if Purdy plays the whole game. But once he goes out, and then the backup to the backup to the backup goes out, there's nothing you can do. Absolutely nothing you can do at all to win that game. I mean, I'm not saying like, oh man, they made it. That's a great point. If Brock Purdy goes there and they lose, then you have some legs to stand on. But once he goes out and then the backup goes out, like what are we doing here? Like, there's nothing to go on. Have you been there
for over 5 years or not?
I have no idea. You let me know. I know they play some very good football, and just like Mike Tomlin, if he's fired for the San Francisco 49ers, there's about 30 teams out there that'll be like calling him ASAP.
I'm not saying he's a bad coach. What I'm saying is, though, he can be on the hot seat because the fan base should be expecting more. Like, how many times do we have to just go on? Are we just going to be the ball's sister every single time?
So I just want to be clear. Is Super Bowl a bust for everybody? Is that the expectation?
For some teams, it is, yes.
So who are the teams that are Super Bowl or bust in your mind? Teams. Fair. I agree. I think they are a Super Bowl or bust team.
Even with a rookie quarterback.
Even with a rookie quarterback. The roster is too good to sit there and say
I'm talking about this year. I'm talking about this year. Going into this year.
I'm talking about this year too.
I'm with you. I say that's fair. Who else is another Super Bowl or bust team?
The Bills.
Fair.
The Bills, the Bengals, the Eagles,
So all those teams, if they don't win the Super Bowl, their head coach should be fired?
I'm not saying fired, but there should from an organizational standpoint, there should be some serious questions being asked to why not. Like, we hold college football coaches to this level. Why can't we hold the highest level of football to this
They do. The Broncos fired their head coach during the season of his rookie year.
You're kind of feeding my point here. So the 49ers coach who's been there for 5-6 years hasn't done you've got us to
finish that. Hasn't done what? Yeah, because you realize how silly that was about to sound.
No, you got us to the NFC Championship. Thank you. And you've lost 3 times.
They've got him to a Super Bowl 3 times. He got him to a Super Bowl.
My whole thing is I never understand how we're going to try to make the NFL the NBA, where the regular season, what you do in the regular season just doesn't matter at all. And that's a very scary place to be in. Where
it's also a scary thing to when you make the playoffs and then you lose in the first or second round every time.
But everybody's fawning over Aaron Rodgers, and he loses at home during the playoffs. But now the New York Jets are, the best thing since sliced bread that he showed up.
The New York Jets are going to be one of the most disappointing teams in the NFL this year. That's not me. I wasn't the one giving Aaron Rodgers a pass all these past years. That's not me. That's Colin Cowherd and the guys off the mothership and everything else like that. Like, you
Colin
can't
don't
sit
like
there and
Aaron
have all
Rodgers,
these fun playoff games. Do what?
Colin Cowherd wasn't defending him technically, but I see your point.
You just want coaches fired, Shaw.
Yeah.
No, I want the same level playing field throughout. Like,
But it's
NFL and
not.
college.
Every team has different expectations. Every team starts from a different starting point. So let's just say, I don't know, pick Wisconsin. So if Wisconsin wins 10 games, goes 10-2, that's a great year for Wisconsin with Coach Fickle their first year.
They're not in CFP.
But that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. If Wisconsin wins 10 games, that's a great first year for Coach Fickle. But if Michigan and Ohio State go 10-2, we're walking out there with pitchforks.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think that is a different point for everybody. Like, everybody's not starting from the same place.
I agree with that on principle, yes. But when you go to the 49ers and Bills and we're not expecting them to get to the Super Bowl, and there's not going to be questions being asked by both organizations to the coaches, I don't know what we're doing here.
I agree going into the season, but like these seasons do have a way of playing out. They do have a way of playing out where, like, okay, man, like X, Y, Z happened. This team jumped up there. And I mean, you look at the NFC West, who you think really is going to compete with the Niners? Who's really going to compete with the Niners to win that division?
Exactly. You're feeding my point.
That's what I'm saying. I'm with you. I agree. But I'm talking about you're talking about he should be fired from last year?
No, I'm saying he should be on the hot seat. I'm not saying he should be fired. What I'm saying is like, I guess maybe we have a definition change of hot seat between you and me, I guess.
When I think hot seat, you better win whatever X is, or you're fired.
You're fired.
So you think if the San Francisco 49ers don't make it to the Super Bowl, he should be fired?
Fired, or serious conversations need to be had?
Well, I'm sure there's serious conversations had all the time whenever there's a loss or unexpected situation happens with a team. You don't?
No, some teams I don't think there is. No.
They just lose and just, all right, man, see ya.
Houston Texans don't have serious conversations. The Chicago Bears don't have serious conversations.
Didn't the Texans just fire their head coach?
The Detroit Lions for however many years didn't have serious conversations. The Cincinnati Bengals organization didn't have serious conversations. I mean, the list can go on and on and on and on.
The Bears head coach is on the second year, so they just fired a head coach and a GM.
But
Texans just hired a new head coach this season.
You know it as well as I do. We're about the same age. The Bears, like, since Ditka, what have they? I mean, they haven't done anything. We're rotating through coaches, non-freaking stop, because you really will not do the homework and just go hire the head coach and do what you need to do. No,
it's that
we'll
simple.
give you 2 seasons and then we'll fire you.
Just go hire the head coach.
Well, I tell you what. If the Pittsburgh Steelers didn't have Mike Tomlin and the 49ers were stupid enough to fire Kyle Shanahan, they would hire him in a heartbeat.
Shaw, thank you for another entertaining visit, as always. I mean,
so let me ask you. So, am I wrong on my definition of the hot seat? Because that's how I always thought about it. Like, all right, you're in a hot seat, and if you don't win whatever imaginary number amount of games, or make the playoffs, or make a deep run in the playoffs, go to the Super Bowl, win the Super Bowl, that means, all right, you didn't meet expectation or / goal from your GM and your ownership, then you're fired. That's what I always thought hot seat meant.
And the other thing, too, is the only people that can put you on a hot seat that matter are your actual bosses. So random radio boobs putting people on hot seats really doesn't matter a whole lot. But I will say that you're right. Not every situation is different. It's not as simple, but like every team is in a different phase than others.
Good word. Great word.
And like, that's why I'm like the Cleveland Browns. The last couple of years, I've been a little like, well, last year I didn't even predict that they would make the playoffs. I said, hey, they won't even, I mean, you remember that when the season started. I'm like, this won't be a playoff team. You can't go 11 games without your starting quarterback and expect to make the playoffs. not an excuse.
Nah,
but
I did that for
so,
sure.
Oh, yeah. But I'm not down on Shanahan like others are. I think that the Niners create a lot of their own problems. You go and get Garoppolo, you get to Super Bowl. I don't blame them for moving on from Garoppolo because Garoppolo is very, very good enough to get you there. But they were like, okay, we need another quarterback that's going to take us to that next level. They felt Trey Lance could have been that guy. So they trade some assets and they move up and they get him. Then he gets, hurt. Nothing's been working out as far as getting that going. Then Mr. Irrelevant, Brock Purdy comes in. And I think, if anything, what buys what buys Shanahan time is the fact that he was able to dominate in the National Football League with a rookie quarterback, the last pick in last year's NFL draft. And I would say it was a coin flip. Both teams were equally dominant. It was an equally balanced matchup in the NFC Championship game. There's a good chance to get back to the Super Bowl last year, and they would have just as good a game with the Chiefs as what the Eagles did. So maybe, bottom line is I'm not calling for Shanahan to be fired. I don't think he should be on the hot seat, but I do think that the phase that they're heading into is you got to figure out who your quarterback is.
Yeah, I agree with that.
My criteria for my list was head coaches with elite quarterbacks. I hold you to a higher standard than others. Technically, in San Fran, without elite quarterbacks, they've been doing a whole lot of winning. And they've been getting a lot of championship games. They've gotten to a Super Bowl. They were the Samuel catch a drop away or overthrow of Samuel away from actually winning the Super Bowl. So, yeah, Shaw, man.
Yeah, look at the pedigree that Kyle Shanahan has. He was the offensive coordinator when Robert Griffith III won Rookie of the Year and made the playoffs with the Washington football team. He was the offensive coordinator of the Atlanta Falcons when they blew that lead to the Pats, but also Matt Ryan's only MVP season. So, you get rid of him if you want to. You're just going to give somebody a layup. You're just basically going to give somebody else 10 to 12 wins as soon as he shows up.
Shaw's mad.
Oh, don't be like that.
We didn't even get to the Bills. Well, you wasted all your bad takes on the Niners, Shaw. We didn't have time for the Bills.
We got a guest coming up,
Sam
man.
LeCure, just talked to him, 4 o'clock. My apologies. Supposed to be 3:40. We'll get to him coming up here top of the hour. But Kenner and Cap, 1410 Wing AM. Shaw bringing the heat. He's in midseason form, boys and girls.
Let's get it on.
He's a fan of a team. That's Harbaugh as head coach, by the way. The head coach that every year wants to take other jobs. Just throwing it out there.
Maybe he'll be the next coach of the Niners. Oh, they fired him.
His seat can't be hot because he's never sitting in it.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash on 1410 ESPN Radio.
Here come the Thunderbirds. Experience Dayton's biggest and best summer party at the Center Point Energy Dayton Air Show, presented by Kroger, July 22nd and 23rd at Dayton International Airport. This year's show features military and civilian demonstrations, historic aircraft, food and fun, along with hands-on interactive events, including flight and ride experiences. Tickets available while supplies last at DaytonAirShow.com. Get discount general admission tickets at area Kroger stores.
For adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy, now there's Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection. With Skyrizi, 3 out of 4 people achieve 90% clear skin at 4 months, and Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Nothing in me go hand in hand. Nothing on my skin, that's my new plan. Nothing is everything.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms, such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
With Skyrizi, you could achieve 90% clearer skin. Ask your doctor about the #1 dermatologist prescribed biologic in psoriasis and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Hey, I'm Andy. If you don't know me, it's probably because I'm not famous. But I did start a men's grooming company called Harry's. The idea for Harry's came out of a frustrating experience I had buying razor blades. Most brands were overpriced, overdesigned, and out of touch. At Harry's, our approach is simple. Here's our secret. We make sharp, durable blades and sell them at honest prices for as low as $2 each. We care about quality so much that we do some crazy things, like buy a world-class German blade factory. Obsessing over every detail means we're confident in offering a 100% quality guarantee. Millions of guys have already made the switch to Harry's. So thank you if you're one of them. And if you're not, we hope you give us a try with this special offer. Get a Harry starter set with a 5-blade razor, weighted handle, shave gel, and a travel cover. All for just $3 plus free shipping. Just go to harrys.com and enter code TRUST at checkout. That's harrys.com, code TRUST. Enjoy.
This radio commercial was made to convince you to stop speeding. We can't use siren sound effects on the radio, so we'll use other equally jarring sound effects to get your attention. Like telling you that whether you drive a little over the speed limit or a lot, you can crash just the same. You could hurt yourself or worse, others.
I'm at the scene of the collision.
And the damage you cause will be beyond repair. See, we didn't have to use crash or siren sounds after all. Speeding catches up with you. Brought to you by NHTSA.
$5,000 sign-on bonus. That's right. My friends at Cordell Transportation are now hiring experienced Class A CDL drivers with excellent work history. If that's you, apply now. Cordell Transportation offers home daily dedicated lanes, no-touch freight, and brand new equipment, plus a $5,000 sign-on bonus paid over 18 months, paid orientation, and company 401k with company match. Apply online at CordellTransportation.com. Cordell Transportation, driven to succeed.
Alpha Media Dayton, a leader in digital and broadcast media marketing, has a rare opening in our sales department for a hybrid integrated marketing consultant. If you're a dynamic individual who knows how to build successful partnerships and has a passion for helping local business drive more customers, send us an email, DaytonJobs@alphamediausa.com. That's DaytonJobs@alphamediausa.com, or call 937-519-0111. Alpha Media is an equal opportunity employer.
You have empty office space to fill or home office to create. You know what you need. You know what you'd like. But you also have a pretty good idea after you've shopped around the usual places what you need and what you like might not happen. Well, then you haven't been to Charles Larrick's Warehouse Outlet. Nobody has their selection. Nobody has their discounts. And every week, there's something new. If you need office furniture, Larrick's Warehouse Outlet can sell it to you for half the price and below manufacturer's selected prices. Half price and below on hundreds of items. Selection from budget to the best. Really, desks from $50 to $5,000. Filing cabinets from $25 to $500. Before you go anywhere else, do yourself a favor and come to Larrick's Warehouse Outlet. With 25,000 square feet of selection, you're not going to go anywhere else. Larrick's Warehouse Outlet at 23 McOil Avenue, Dayton. Open Monday through Friday, 9 to 6. Larrick's, continuing the tradition.
It's a great time to complete your home projects with hot deals, plus 11% off at Menards. Update any room with Monroe Park Chalet laminate flooring, just 79 cents a square foot after rebate. Keep things organized with attractive 8-foot Dakota shelves. Choose from assorted styles, just $11.99 after rebate. Remodel your bath with a Tuscany elongated toilet, only $88.99 after 11% off. Good through July 23rd. Savings are mail-in rebate. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
At Harley-Davidson of Xenia, the atmosphere is positively electric as we look to the future. Our name may have changed, but Harley-Davidson of Xenia has been locally owned since 1984. Under our new management, the staff and store are buzzing to get you set up for the open road. Whether you're shopping for merchandise, a new bike, or just need some maintenance on your current ride, Harley-Davidson of Xenia is here for you. Visit us online to learn more and to place a reservation on your new bike. hdofxenia.com.
Not so comfy? They want to help. At Drake Heating and Air, they're all about getting your AC running ice cold again. Get your $99 AC tune-up with no hidden fees and no surprises. They're not happy till you're comfy.
The Cincinnati Reds, their losing streak has extended to 6 games now, and they'll have a chance to put an end to that streak. Coming up here later on tonight, Graham Ashcraft on the mound. Reds and Giants looking to go head-to-head. So looking forward to that. I actually, I thought I'd be more bummed about the Reds' recent little losing streak, but I feel pretty good about it because we saw the bats come alive last night. Had the struggles continued at the plate last night while the losing streak extended, I'd be more concerned. But they had a chance to win that game. Christian Encarnacion strained a monster game. I know he debuted technically 2 nights ago, but with the stoppage in play and the rain and everything, it just never felt like a comfortable game for him or anyone. Last night felt more legitimate, and what a home run in the middle of that game, again, to give the Reds the lead. But It was just a back and forth duel, obviously. I mean, a lot of runs were scored in that, but the most important thing is the bats got hot. Ellie, Joey Votto, Christian, McLean, everyone was rolling. We're going to talk about that with Sam LeCure coming up here in just a moment. The lineup tonight, Ellie De La Cruz will lead things off for the Reds. Again, another game where he's batting in the leadoff spot. Not a bad move. I was critical of David Bell earlier in the week, but I do kind of like this slight change. And it's not a slight, it's a big change in the lineup. You have Ellie De La Cruz setting the tone every night. I really like that. Friedel hitting behind him. He'll get the start in center field, batting second. At second and batting third is Matt McLean. In right field, in the cleanup spot, batting fourth is Fraley. Steer batting fifth at third base. DH is Joey Votto batting sixth. Batting seventh at first base is Christian Encarnacion Strand. Batting eighth is Stevenson behind the plate. And then Benson will get the start in left field tonight, batting ninth with Graham Ashcraft on the mound. Interesting stat. Joel Lukopt, tweeted this a little bit ago. Joey Votto has played over 1,000 more games than the rest of tonight's lineup combined. Yeah, I'd say people need to relax with the getting now where that's it. We knew this team was not as good as we thought. Would you stop? We don't have to bury this team because a team that is nothing but rookies basically has experienced the first losing streak in a long time. They have no business being where they're at to begin with, and we're going to be upset because now they're starting to look like what a team full of rookies should look like. They're still an impressive story, but you give Ellie De La Cruz has only played in 35 career games. Okay, Matt McLean has only played in 55 games. Edwin Encarnacion Strand has only played in 2 games. Joey Votto has played in 1,000 more games than the rest of the lineup combined. Wow, what a stat. All right, I'm excited. I'm a big fan of Sam LeCure, and he's going to hang out with us when we come back. For those watching on the YouTube page, on ESPN Dayton's YouTube channel and the Justin Kinder Show Facebook page, we're going to jump on a video call with Sam LeCure. He's going to pop on with us next. Super excited to chat with him. The Cincinnati Reds, will their losing streak come to an end tonight? Is it time to panic? We're going to talk with Sam LeCure next.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash on 1410 ESPN Radio.
Summer rib season is back, baby, at Frickers. Join us for the perfect pairing of frickin' chicken chunks and baby back ribs together all summer long for only $14.99. Bring the whole family as kids 10 and under eat free from the kids menu all day, every day. Spend time with the family. Enjoy frickin' chicken chunks and baby back ribs all summer long for only $14.99, and kids 10 and under eat free only at the home for fun, food, sports, and spirits, Frickers.
Anywhere fans go to cheer on their team, there are behind-the-scenes MVPs ensuring everything is game day ready. We see you, Joe, fixing seats so every fan can enjoy every game. And Allie, who keeps her stadium running smoothly from the moment the first game starts to the last play of the season. At Grainger, you're our MVPs, and we're always here for you with supplies and solutions for every industry and 24/7 customer support. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hold up, you're using Swiffer Power Mop? What would Mom say?
Oh, she'd be like, a mopping bucket is the only way to deep clean your floors. And I'd be like, Mom, this is the new Swiffer Power Mop, the all-in-one that gets you a mop and bucket clean in half the time.
She'd never believe you.
I'd say, look, the solution's built right in, so no heavy bucket. And the pad has hundreds of scrubbing strips to get into grout lines. That's why you're the smart one.
Really?
What? Mom said it.
The new Swiffer Power Mop. Don't mop harder, mop smarter.
Along with the Ohio chapter of the International Society of Arboriculture, while you're outside, this is a great time to be on the lookout for invasive plant species like honeysuckle, poison hemlock, and even wild parsnip, which can cause severe skin blistering, so be careful. Invasive species can wreak all sorts of havoc, like altering the native food web, making it harder on native wildlife, altering soil chemistry, even creating a better environment for things like ticks and mosquitoes. To learn more or to find a certified arborist near you, go to treesforohio.org. That's trees, the number 4, ohio.org.
If you need new roofing, siding, or gutters, skylights, or patio enclosures, if you're a homeowner or business and need someone you can trust, don't take a chance. Enhance with Lance. Lance Roofing and Siding in Fairborn has been satisfying customers since 1993 and hold an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. Lance Roofing and Siding, 8460 Dayton Springfield Road in Fairborn. Call for a free estimate at 864-2722. That's 864-2722 or online at lanceroofing.com.
What makes AutoZone America's #1 battery destination? Because they offer free battery testing and charging and reliable replacement batteries. And they've always got your battery solution. Get in the zone, AutoZone.
And everybody, we welcome you back. Kinner and Kev live here on Dayton's ESPN radio station, 1410 Wing AM. No Kev Nash today. He'll return with us coming up later on in the week, but I'm excited, of course, because when Kev's out, we get to sit down and kind of bring other people in to kind of chat it up a little bit, and I'm excited to bring on our next guest, former Cincinnati Red, part of the Reds pregame show, of course, on the TV side. We have Mr. Sam LeCure. Sam, welcome in, sir. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
Not too bad. Yeah, absolutely. We appreciate you taking time and hanging out with us. So I think it was like last week when we first chatted about trying to get you on. And of course we were, sky's the limit, right? How quickly things change in baseball. 6-game skid, still 2 games back in the division, still 3 back in the wild card, still within striking distance. But I got to ask, because fans are jumping off left and right. Is it time to panic? Where are you right now with what we're witnessing?
No, don't panic because, it happened just as fast that people jumped on the bandwagon, so that happened pretty quick, right? Nobody really saw this coming. All of a sudden people started showing up at the ballpark and you get into first place in the division and it's like, oh, now we're supposed to win it. And it kind of just goes the other way. I thought Joey last night, post game, said it, pretty perfectly. It's just the way that it goes over the course of 162 games. You're going to have these stretches where, you feel like you're on top of the world and just as quickly you feel like you're hiding under a rock. So that's not exactly how I said it, but was basically the point of what he was trying to get at. So I haven't really lost, any faith in this club. They ran into several good starting pitchers in a row. It was Corbin Burns, Freddie Peralta looked amazing. I think there was a Wade Miley in there somewhere. It's more veteran pitch, Logan Webb for the Giants, kind of veteran pitchers who can exploit these younger guys a little bit because, they played so well, but they are young, and you can kind of toy with those guys, like a veteran is the teacher, like kind of teaching these young kids a thing or two. And I think that was a product of it. But last night it was nice to see him swing the bats. I feel just as confident now as I did 2 weeks ago that they've got a legitimate shot. I'm not saying they're going to win the division, but I feel like they've got as good of a shot as anybody for sure.
Yeah, I don't know about you, but there was something about the All-Star break where I think we were about a week or two out, and I'm like, I know this sounds, I'm being negative and all this. I was like, I was terrified of the All-Star break because I'm like, this team's cruising, and sometimes you hate coming to a halt like that in the second half, as you know from your playing days. How different, like that first game back of the All-Star break, whether you're in the All-Star game or not, how different does it feel? Is there something to that break?
It does, yeah. And that was kind of one of my last thoughts going into the break was, a lot of these guys, how they handle this break is going to continue to evolve over years. This is, their first major league All-Star break. So I don't know if it's the same length as, some of the minor league ones, but, obviously they've never been in the position to where they're going into the All-Star break leading a division in the major leagues, right? So that was new for all of them except Joey, I guess. How you use that time to either rest if you need it or, continue to kind of go through the process, like continue to work. I don't know that. That was different for me than it was for Joey. I keep using Joey because he's the only one on the team that I played with. So, how Joey used the All-Star break, he may have taken every single day off, or he may have taken one day off and then gone and hit, then maybe seen a live pitcher. I don't know. That's different for everybody. How do you keep yourself in the physical mindset? Yes, but the mental mindset of, continuing to go out there and feel like you're, world beaters, which I'm sure that they felt like for the better part of, I guess 2 months. So it's crucial. I can't point to it as one way or the other because you go into an All-Star break in a mental mindset of feeling good, then you've got 4 days of feeling like you're a stud, right? But if they'd have come in at, kind of dragging their feet into it, then they've got 4 days of thinking, man, maybe we weren't as good as we were. So I know that they were in first place, but they had lost a series, so there's a lot of different factors that go into, and it's different for each guy on how they view, what's going on within the, on the team at that point. So I'm not going to necessarily point to that either. I still feel like I hold to the fact that Corbin Burns and Freddie Peralta and Logan Webb, I mean, they're all really good pitchers, right? And they took it to them, and they did something that not a lot of guys had been doing, which was they were attacking them within the strike zone. A big part of this team or this offense's abilities is their ability to draw walks. They're third in the major leagues in walks. That these guys have not been nibbling around the edges after the All-Star break. They've been going right at them, right? So it takes a big piece of their offense away that they're not drawing walks and continuing to be able to aid in these rallies with some extra traffic. So I think it's more of a credit to the pitchers than a knock on this offense, because I think this offense can beat anybody.
Yeah, it's this season. And in baseball, we don't really talk too much. Like, we don't really see many worst to first scenarios.
Right.
So the expectations, even no matter how well they were playing for that 2-month stretch, maybe not fair to still hold them to that, hey, you need to be in first. But it's still been a great story. And, I'm not going to overreact to 6 games. I actually, after last night, that loss stung. But had they lost again, being offensively flat, I would have felt a little bit more bummed about it. But it was really nice to see the bats come alive. And once again, another huge kind of debut. I know he debuted 2 nights ago, but yesterday felt more real just because it was an actual game and not, stopped by rain. But it's, you saw Matt McClain with the huge debut. Ellie was just fantastic in his. And then now, Strand just with that big home run yesterday. I know you have anything like this where rookies just come in one after another, and not just produce, but their production leading to winning. This is unlike anything I've seen.
It's me too. and I mean, so that's why I have tried to hold back on just going overboard with your expectations for this team, because I've just never seen that. I've never seen rookies just come up and not just hold their own, but excel. And every one of them has. And so it's been, it's one of those things like Ellie individually is you kind of run out of words because you haven't really seen something like that before. Like, you're spending your time in awe a little bit, right? And so, I mean, I feel that way about all these guys that I just haven't seen a whole lot like this. So is it sustainable? I hope so. I mean, I feel like they're good baseball players. Like, they're physically gifted, but I feel like they're good baseball players. They have a nose for, in past years, we were talking about a Kyle Farmer. Well, you've taken physical skills of, maybe, and I'm not trying to knock Kyle. I love Kyle, but you're taking some amazing physical abilities and you're putting into a baseball mind like a Kyle Farmer.
Yeah.
And so they're really good baseball players. So I do feel like it's sustainable, but it's kind of funny to me. And I forget what you said just a second ago, kind of brought it up. Before the season, there's no expectations of this team. And then they get into first place, and now all of a sudden the expectation is they're going to win the division. They're going to win the World Series, right? I mean, it's kind of unfair to them. And I don't know if they hear a lot of that outside noise, but, if you look back at, every single person went back to March 15th and thought, what's this Reds team going to do? And then they fast forward to July 15th. They've completely changed the narrative. The team's done that, so that's on the team because they've changed expectations. But as an individual, has it changed for me? I went back and found an email that I think I wrote on opening day to our producer. And I think I said, hey, I know I said I took a picture of it because I think about this stuff, bandwagon type of people and this and that. And people wanted to jump on now that, they're winning. I said, if you tell me this team's going to win 75 games, I would take it. If everything goes perfect, I would take a 500 team. That was my thoughts on opening day. I always hope I'm wrong. I always feel like I'm a little bit optimistic based on other people's projections.
Yeah.
I heard a lot of people projecting another 100 losses and different things because who could have expected what we've seen here this year in Cincinnati? They're not done. The season's not over. There's still a long way to go. They could go on a 2 for 20 skid, or they could go on another 20-2 run, or whatever it was. So I'm always of the mind that you just play the games. You just play the games. I don't start looking at projections. because you never know when you're going to catch lightning in a bottle, and it certainly feels like this team has.
Yeah, and again, a good problem to have. Like the front office, it's kind of a weird situation for them because I don't think they're anticipating a 100-loss season. But I mean, baseball, it's just the history of baseball. With where you were a year ago, you didn't make a lot of big changes in the offseason. Like you really weren't going to expect a big season coming up.
Right.
So they didn't build the roster that way. And now you're heading into a trade deadline here in a couple of weeks. And it's like, man, if this team was still hot like they were 2 weeks ago, okay, you maybe be a little more aggressive at the deadline. But now that they're kind of slowing down a bit, it's like, okay, who are we? You don't want to veer off track of the plan, which was the rebuild, but you also don't want to miss out and get to late September and say, well, damn, if we would have just made this move I don't envy them, but it's a good problem to have. But again, it's more layers to this fascinating season.
There is, and I would say, to that point, you don't want to mortgage all that prospect capital that you just got, because obviously it's pretty good. All the prospects they just brought in, like they're coming to the big leagues and they're performing. You don't want to get rid of that, but you also don't want to miss a window, like you're saying. If there's an opportunity to get in the playoffs, you want to take it. How big are the additions of Nick Lodolo and Hunter Green? That's kind of, if you get them back right around the trade deadline, that could be your trade deadline pickup. They're doing all this without those guys.
Yeah.
They did it mostly without Graham Ashcraft as well. I mean, the three certainties I thought going into this year were going to be those guys are going to be nasty and give them a chance to win 3 out of 5 games. I was completely wrong. Okay. I mean, I think that most people would have felt that way, but I felt that way, that was going to be the backbone of this team. They haven't shown up whatsoever. I don't want to say not whatsoever, but for the most part, they have not. So to get those guys back, and Graham has now been on a nice little roll. You get Hunter back around the trade deadline. I would, based on who's out there in the starting pitching market, I'd rather just go with those guys, to be honest. And I haven't really asked myself that question, but now that you have brought it up, I think I'd just go with them, because I don't want to get rid of any prospect capital. The guys that are in the market this year have had kind of iffy-ish, past couple seasons. There's question marks surrounding all of them. If you want to talk about the guy for the White Sox, there's a couple guys for the White Sox, and that's another piece of it. There's so many teams that are still in it that the value or the number of players that are available is small, and the amount you're going to have to pay for them because it's small is going to be huge. And I don't want the Reds to do that. I'd rather, if they miss the playoffs this year, I think it would suck, but what they'd be able to do the next couple of years by not giving up some of these guys they have, I think it'd be worth it.
Yeah,
because they're not going to win the World Series this year. Sorry.
No,
I take that. I take that. I guess I'll take that back, because
we'll have this video. We'll clip it out, and hopefully, if we share it, it's a good thing. But
yeah, maybe, but we'll see.
How you liking this media stuff, man? Like, look. From year one to now, it's just you're so much more comfortable. Not that you need my pat on the back by any means, but I really do enjoy your work. Like, how are you enjoying it? Like, you've been here for a few years now. Like, it just seems more natural to you now. I really enjoy watching you in the pregame and any of the the studio stuff that you guys do. But how are you liking it?
Well, I appreciate it. Number one, I enjoy it. I mean, obviously, it's more fun this year than it has been the past couple of years, so that always helps. I never felt like I was, all through college, played at a big university. Media was a part of it. And, when I got to the big leagues, obviously, I never felt like I was uncomfortable in front of a camera.
Yeah.
But there's some of the nuanced stuff that certainly took me a little while to figure out. And I still feel like I'm figuring out some things and, trying to find ways to get better at how I'm, what information am I giving to people? What information do they want? I don't want to get too analytical, because I'm not too analytical. And I feel like that can be a little bit of a clutter. Just like when I was a player, I didn't want too much information, because that's clutter, for me. I want kind of the brass taxes, and this is what it is. And so I've enjoyed it. It's nice, obviously, to continue to be around the game, and, get to go down there and yuck it up. And there's still some guys who come in from other teams that, I know and get to go down and visit with and have played with. So it's been a lot of fun. And obviously, like I said, the team makes it a lot more fun. I feel very comfortable. I live in Cincinnati pretty much year round now for the past couple of years. So people here have made me feel very welcome, and I appreciate that. So no, I enjoy everything about it. I still, this year more than any other year, I have missed being on the field. Because it's the kind of team that I like. I love the brand of baseball. So I've had my heartstrings have taken a beating this year because I want to go back down and play. I want my old job back, but as far as that goes, this is a nice second place.
How old are you, by the way?
I'm 39. About to hit the big 4-0 next year.
Sam LeCure with us. Awesome enough to give us some time here again. Kinner and Kev, 1410 Wing AM. Reds back in action tonight. Again, looking to end that 6-game losing skid. Yep. Sam, really appreciate you taking time and hanging out with us today. But just, again, the Bats came alive last night. I feel a lot better about that. If they would have lost their 6 straight, like just struggling at the plate again, it'd be like, okay, maybe they were a little just too hot for a while. But I think that's still there in that lineup. I'm really excited to see kind of if they could build off that tonight.
There was going to have to be at some point. I kept calling it a market correction, just like the stock market. Like they were going to have to come back to earth a little bit. Like they couldn't just. I didn't feel like they were going to be able to continue to do that. But for them, sometimes a little punch in the mouth is a nice reminder, especially for a young player, to kind of keep showing up and sticking with what worked. That the personnel hasn't changed. If anything, they've gotten better, right? So just a little reminder for them. So I think that I see another run coming for them pretty soon. But I appreciate you having me on. Reach out anytime, and we'll visit and hopefully be talking about the playoff push in September.
Sounds good. And I already have that clip ready to go for when they win the World Series and say, I thought you said, yeah, we're good to go. All right, good stuff. Sam LeCure, appreciate you, my man. Thanks.
All right, man. Take care, bud.
All right, good stuff. Sam LeCure, appreciate you, my man. Thanks.
All right, man. Take care, bud.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash.
Justin, you're awesome, baby.
Right here on 1410 ESPN Radio. ESPN 1410 Wing AM weather.
Our forecast, partly cloudy, 69 tonight. Chance of showers and thunderstorms at 87 tomorrow. Friday, it's mostly sunny, a high of 80. I'm Rick Schrepp for 1410 ESPN Radio.
Folks, the Colonel here with Homestead Feed and Supply. Homestead is proud to introduce Purina feed products, including Fitter, Honor Show Feeds, Depth Charge. Heck, they've even got the golden ticket. Come out to Homestead Feed and Supply, 1833 North Dayton Lakeview Road, New Carlisle. Tell them the Colonel sent you.
When getting the job done right is job one, you need construction equipment that's built right. From compact track loaders to the world's #1 selling compact excavator, the .com for full disclaimer.
Stop by Columbus Equipment in Columbus, Dayton, or Toledo to see their full line of Kubota construction equipment, or check them out online at columbusequipment.com.
$5,000 sign-on bonus. That's right. My friends at Cordell Transportation are now hiring experienced Class A CDL drivers with excellent work history. If that's you, apply now. Cordell Transportation offers home daily dedicated lanes, no-touch freight, and brand new equipment, plus a $5,000 sign-on bonus paid over 18 months, paid orientation, and company 401k with company match. Apply online at CordellTransportation.com. Cordell Transportation, driven to succeed.
If you need new roofing, siding, or gutters, skylights, or patio enclosures, if you're a homeowner or business and need someone you can trust, don't take a chance. Enhance with Lance. Lance Roofing and Siding in Fairborn has been satisfying customers since 1993 and hold an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. Lance Roofing and Siding, 8460 Dayton Springfield Road in Fairborn. Call for a free estimate at 864-2722. That's 864-2722 or online at lanceroofing.com.
Hi, Greg McAfee here from McAfee Heating and Air. Inflation is hurting families. Gas and food prices continue to soar, but skilled trade jobs are paying at an all-time high rate. Why keep working for less? If you are experienced in HVAC, have a great attitude, love serving people, and enjoy working hard. Apply today at mcair.com. That's mcair.com.
You have empty office space to fill or home office to create. You know what you need. You know what you'd like. But you also have a pretty good idea after you've shopped around the usual places what you need and what you like might not happen. Well, then you haven't been to Charles Larrick's Warehouse Outlet. Nobody has their selection. Nobody has their discounts. And every week, there's something new. If you need office furniture, Larrick's Warehouse Outlet can sell it to you for half the price and below manufacturer's selected prices. Half price and below on hundreds of items. Selection from budget to the best. Really, desks from $50 to $5,000. Filing cabinets from $25 to $500. Before you go anywhere else, do yourself a favor and come to Larrick's Warehouse Outlet. With 25,000 square feet of selection, you're not going to go anywhere else. Larrick's Warehouse Outlet at 23 McOil Avenue, Dayton. Open Monday through Friday, 9 to 6. Larrick's, continuing the tradition.
Here come Rock and Roll Hall of Famers, Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons. This Saturday night, Roy's Music Center at the Heights. 19 top 10 hits with Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons. Reserved seats on sale now at Ticketmaster.com and the Rose Music Center box office. Don't miss Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons live.
What's holding you back from learning the language you've always wanted to know?
Too hard.
Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's lessons take just 15 minutes a day.
15 minutes isn't long.
Nope. And they're fun. So you don't realize you're learning a language, but you are. In 3 weeks, you're able to start having conversations. And Babbel's lessons are built around real life.
And with Babbel, it isn't hard.
It's perfect.
Now try Babbel free. Just go to Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
Do you have heart failure and often hear,
"Those stomach issues ruined your birthday"? "You're too tired to play catch, Grandpa." Sweetie, you haven't touched your tools since the carpal tunnel syndrome diagnosis.
If these seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, talk to your cardiologist. Ask about transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy, or ATTR-CM, a rare and underdiagnosed disease that gets worse over time. Learn more at connecttoyourheart.com. That's connecttoyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Hi, we're Comparion Insurance Agency. Right now you're thinking, Comparion, never heard of them. We know. We also know that you have no idea that Comparion Insurance agents are local and provide expert advice. So to help it stick, we're going to say local agent 4 times in the next 15 seconds. Ready? Go. Our local agents know you and your community. Our local agents offer insurance from top carriers. Our local agents have minty fresh breath.
Find us at ComparionInsurance.com. Comparion Insurance Agency. Local agents. Expert advice.
And there's number 4.
Do you have heart failure and often hear,
"Those stomach issues ruined your birthday"? "You're too tired to play catch, Grandpa." Sweetie, you haven't touched your tools since the carpal tunnel syndrome diagnosis.
If these seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, talk to your cardiologist. Ask about transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy, or ATTR-CM, a rare and underdiagnosed disease that gets worse over time. Learn more at connecttoyourheart.com. That's connecttoyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Where can you make the whole family happy for less? At Bob Evans. Find over 30 breakfast, lunch, and dinner favorites for $8.99 or less.
Meet Joe A, Joe B, and Joe C.
What's up?
3 everyday Joes perfecting their banking with Chase. Joe A is locking his lost debit card with the Chase mobile app. Joe B is cruising toward his new ride with AutoSave. And Joe C's Chase banker is helping him budget to go back to school. Tools that help protect. Support for what's next. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase. Make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Messaging and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
At Lowe's, we're always bringing pros more ways to save. Right now, save $50 when you buy the Tank 6-gallon pancake air compressor from Metabo HPT for just $199. Plus, get up to 20% off select James Hardy siding. Shop in-store or online for more deals you can't beat. Because Lowe's knows savings, Lowe's knows pros. Metabo HPT offer valid 7/6 through 7/26. James Hardy offer valid 7/13 through 7/19. Selection varies by location while supplies last.
Dayton sports fans. For more local sports content, make sure to subscribe to Dayton's ESPN Radio YouTube channel. And don't miss the Miami Valley's only local sports talk show, The Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. on 1410 Wing AM.
All right, good stuff. We welcome you back. Justin Kinner, Kev Nash, Dayton's ESPN radio station, 1410 Wing AM. I just realized when we opened up the show today, I didn't set you up correctly.
Let's do it.
I'm Justin Kinner. He's Kev Nash.
What up, though?
Off and rolling here on a Wednesday. All right, good stuff. So we opened up, talked about, coaches on the hot seat heading into the 2023 NFL season. We just talked all things Reds with former Red and, of course, part of their TV crew, Sam LeCure. If you missed that interview, don't worry. We got that coming up for you again, coming up here later on in the program. So excited for that here around the corner. But a lot of stuff there. Look, the Reds lost 6 straight, Kev, but the Bats came alive last night. And Christian Encarnacion-Strand in his second game blasted a 3-1 bomb last night. As far as that goes. By the way, I don't know how many of you are, I know a lot of you, you're all degenerates just like I am, but I saw that there's a lot of the home run odds are pretty high for tonight. I mean, for Christian Encarnacion-Strand, plus 280 on FanDuel. Plus 280. Joey Votto's plus 310. Matt McClain plus 450 and Spencer Steer plus 450. So I would go put some doll hairs on one of those 4, or if not all 4, to hit a home run tonight. Maybe not include them all in one parlay, but just 4 separate. If you're feeling balls,
might as well.
Yeah. So it's interesting. I came across this list the other day, and I think a buddy of mine sent this for last college football season. I just kind of forgot to do it. But the all name team, Kev, the college football all name team. I mean, you have a couple names, don't you?
Yeah, a lot.
Do people even know your actual name, or
do my government?
You're not Kevin Nash.
No, that's not.
You're not
what they
a
came up
former
with.
WWE wrestler. Hall of Famer at least.
If you follow me on Facebook, you know the government.
But
you know what Penny and Larry came up with.
The 2023 college football all name team. First team offense, Kev, at quarterback. Okay, from Oklahoma, General Booty. Booty. General Booty is the name of the quarterback at Oklahoma.
I'm going to Google that.
Cool
Hopefully it doesn't come back and get a virus on my computer. I wonder if General is his real first name.
I mean, what do you call him for sure?
GB?
Get your booty over here. Like, what do you? Running back from Colorado, Cavassier Smoke.
Yes. He's a transfer.
That's a badass name.
I like that.
That is a badass name. All right, keeping it going at wide receiver from Louisiana Tech, DeColdest Crawford.
Yes, sir. Transfer from Nebraska.
You have a lot of knowledge on this. I had no idea. I just thought these names were cool. All right, DeRealist Clark, Defiance College.
Okay.
All right, Fat Watts from Tulane.
Rowdy from Tulane down there in
receiver.
North Carolina. Not North Carolina, New Orleans, getting them good eats.
Yep, Fat Watts. I mean, I hope a lot of these names get drafted. Why don't we hear all these names on draft night? Like, it's always like a Steve Miller or something like boring. Like, how about a Rowdy Beers? Rowdy Beers is this dude's name from FIU.
Like Beers?
Yep.
Like
Rowdy Beers. B-E-R-S.
Oh,
yeah.
That's slick.
How about Parker Titsworth?
Watch it now.
That's his name. You
almost did something. But we're on camera.
They have to. Never mind. My favorite show. That's actually not, but I just want an excuse to say it. But no, I can't. I don't know. It rhymes with it's Hits Creek. It rhymes with Hits Creek.
Oh no.
Are we allowed to say like that?
We are not.
Show? But it's not even spelled that way. Technicality. All right, moving on. So that's Parker Titsworth. How about Jaden Muskrat from Auburn? Yeah. Jaden Muskrat. I don't know if that's a unique name. That's more of an unfortunate name. Dodge Saucer from Iowa State, offensive lineman.
Dodge. These are some unique names, dude.
Saucer. Dodge Saucer. How about Tiger Shanks? Tiger Shanks is an offensive lineman for UNLV.
Go Rebels.
Another offensive lineman from Charlotte, Panda Askew.
One more time.
Panda Askew.
Wow. But you know what I'm more blown away by? Their last names. Because I mean, exactly.
That was his last name.
Exactly. Because like you can be super unique with a first name. I mean, you can do it, but normally the surname is like something that's been, in generations. But that last name that you talked about, imagine being in middle school with that last name.
Oh, I mean, Titsworth didn't stand a chance. This is my excuse for using this. I love this last name, by the way.
What's his nickname?
Are you a Titsworth guy or an Askew guy? I'm just asking. Too far. I'm sorry. My bad.
Hashtag both.
Dodge sauce. Okay. Imagine, but you're right. The last name's like, all right, son, it's very important that you carry on the Titsworth legacy. Seriously, like the Booty legacy. General Booty reporting for duty.
Sir.
All right. Honorable mention. Nemo Squire from ECU, running back.
That's not weird. I figure we would have a lot more Nemos.
That's why he's
around now. Okay.
But it's if it's Nemo Miller, it's but Nemo Squire. Esquire. All right. I don't even know how to. Juvensky Schlenbaker. That sounds like a name that Anthony Grant would recruit. I mean, every guy he recruits, I can't pronounce their damn name. So Juvensky Schlenbaker. That was boring. Rocky Beers, tight end from Air Force. Wonder if he's related to Rowdy Beers.
Cousins.
ECU. Yeah, let's see. Squirrel White.
He plays for
SEC.
Ole Miss?
Big cheaters in the SEC.
Oh, LSU.
No. Tennessee.
Oh,
Tennessee.
The new cheaters.
Yep. This is a great one. If you think I'm a big fan of Titsworth, I'm a bigger fan of Booby Curry. Booby Curry, the wide receiver from Buffalo. Like, parents, what the hell's wrong with you guys, though? Seriously, sometimes you can't control your life. Not sometimes. I mean, you can get it changed. But he looks like a booby. Hey, just because he's attached to the end of your booby don't mean you got to name him Booby. You have a choice in these matters. Don't name your kid or your son or anyone Booby.
Well, nicknames as children are cute. I had a buddy, they used to call him Booger as a kid. And, by the time you get to middle school, my name is Anthony. Because that's how like, man, y'all not about to be calling me Booger in front of a whole bunch of girls that we've never met before. So, but sometimes nicknames just stick forever.
Because chicks are going to be like, there's a story behind that name. Yeah, it caught me picking my nose one time.
Yep. That's what happened.
Beat my friend. Never mind. No. Tater Reed, offensive lineman from UAB. They call me Tater Salad. There we go. Snoop Leota Amama.
Leota. I like the middle name.
Offense, but it's all one.
Leota
Amama.
Oh, that's the last name.
Leota Amama is all one word.
Oh,
yep.
Wow.
So Snoop Leota Amama from Virginia, offensive lineman. Juice Scruggs from Penn State.
We'll be seeing him in the Big Ten. Go Bucks.
Wing Green.
Wow.
Wing Green, offensive lineman from Georgia Tech. This one. Isaiah Bullardick.
Moving on.
That's the name. I'm not going to. I mean, it's very important as broadcasters that you get the names correct. Bullardick is the last name.
Man, I commend you, man. We talked about this before, man. That time you did the NCAA game at short notice and you were flawless. Like, I don't understand how you or other broadcasters are able just to pick up a piece of paper and see a name that's very unique and able to pronunciate it correctly, man. And salute to you guys, man.
Or if you don't know how to pronounce it, just say it with confidence. Like this one, Octavius Oxidine, first team defensive lineman from Kentucky. Octavius Oxidine. That's a badass name.
00. He's got to wear 0, right?
He doesn't have numbers.
Got to. What's the name one more time? I'm Googling.
Octavius Oxidine. How about this one? Mobility. M-O-H is his first name. His first name's Mo.
Okay.
His last name is Billity. He's in the transfer portal still. Not very mobile. Jesus. Pig Cage. Why the hell are you naming your kid Pig?
I mean, it can only be one reason.
Pig Cage. Storm Duck. The defensive names are boring. Dude Person. Central Arkansas. Defensive back.
I know. Is my guy on there from Alabama?
Who's the guy from Alabama?
Kool-Aid McAllister.
Kool-Aid McAllister?
So when your name is Kool-Aid and you don't make the all-name team, there's some doozies out there.
Oh, yeah. How about, I would put Reggie Powers on this. Reggie Powers is a badass name. I'm just saying.
Go green, go white.
Just saying. He's not in college yet.
Go green, go. He'll make the list next year.
I'm going to put Reggie Powers on next year's list. But, all right, honorable mention. Tonka Hemingway, defensive line, South Carolina.
Nice.
The honorable mentions are way better than the first team defensive names. Tonka Hemingway, how is that not on this first team defensive list? If you're just joining us, it's the 2023 college football all-name team. The coolest names in college football. They make an entire offense and defense and then have an honorable mention. Tonka Hemingway is better than any name outside of Octavius Oxidine from Kentucky. Tonka Hemingway is pretty damn badass. How about Meatball Smith from Houston?
He's got to be a DT, right?
D lineman. Yep.
Okay.
Demon Clowney. Blazin Lano Wong, Arizona State. Steel Chambers makes the list. That is a very cool name.
OH.
Hot Rid Fitton, South Carolina linebacker.
One more time.
Hot Rid Fitton.
Hot Rid Fitton.
Yeah, I don't, Power Ecoles.
If that name's making the list, Reggie's definitely making the list
had
next
to be
year.
on there.
Go green, go white.
Let's see. Buck Coors.
Stop it.
From Wyoming.
Stop it.
Buck Coors.
Oh, Buck.
What'd you think?
I thought you said butt.
Buck Coors. Ephesians Prysock. You know how on Monday Night Football, Ephesians Prysock, defensive back.
LSU.
Yeah. But some of these, when they're doing the introductions at the beginning. Parker Titsworth, offensive line.
Is that your favorite one?
And Askew, Panda Askew is pretty cool too.
General Booty.
Cavassier Smoke is pretty badass.
That's dope. I like that.
All right, so my favorite, Octavius Oxidine is my favorite. I put that at number 1. General Booty is number 2. Fat Watts is pretty funny as well. Let's see. Parker Titsworth and Booby Curry. Anyway. All right, folks. Now that we can go back to acting our age.
Oh, no.
We can talk a little wrestling.
Let's do it.
All right. WWE Smackdown is going to be live here at Wright State University's Nutter Center coming up on August 4th. All right. On August 4th, WWE Smackdown is going to be live at Wright State University's Nutter Center. It is the last show before the pay-per-view SummerSlam the next night in Detroit. We have tickets to SmackDown at Wright State University's Nutter Center and tickets to SummerSlam. All you have to do is go to wingam.com and enter to win those tickets. It doesn't cost anything, just a few seconds of your time. That's it. So go ahead and take advantage of that. Enter for a chance to win WWE SmackDown live tickets Friday night. And then SummerSlam the very next night at Ford Field in Detroit. Over 80,000 fans. What is that going to be like? We're going to talk with WWE superstar Montez Ford. He joins us next. Kenner and Cap, 1410 Wingham. I won't tell him that you're crushing on his wife pretty hard. I'm just saying.
Please don't. Please don't.
Listen, stream, watch. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash right here on Dayton's ESPN Radio, 1410 Wing AM.
Summer rib season is back, baby, at Frickers. Join us for the perfect pairing of frickin' chicken chunks and baby back ribs together all summer long for only $14.99. Bring the whole family as kids 10 and under eat free from the kids menu all day, every day. Spend time with the family. Enjoy frickin' chicken chunks and baby back ribs all summer long for only $14.99. And kids 10 and under eat free only at the home for fun, food, sports, and spirits, Frickers.
If this were a Reese's TV ad, you'd be staring at a Reese's peanut butter cup. And sure, my voice is peanut buttery smooth, but still, you need to see the peanut butter cups, right? No? I can really just say Reese's and you'll go get some? Okay, Reese's. 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 Really working, actually. Reese's. Reese's. I'm on to something. Reese's. Reese's.
Reese's.
Right now at Wendy's, when you buy either a Dave's Single, Spicy Chicken Sandwich, Medium Frosty, or 10-piece nuggets, you can get another for just $1. Your dollar never tasted so good. So it's obvious what everyone will get, right?
Definitely nugs
Spicy
and
Chicken
a Frosty.
Sandwich,
Dave's Single and a Frosty for me.
and a Frosty. Okay, who said Frosty and a Frosty? Pick your obvious choice. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's, buy one, get one for $1.
Limited time only. Price of participation may vary. U.S. Wendy's, valid for item of equal or lesser value. Cannot be combined in a combo or any other offer.
This radio commercial was made to convince you to stop speeding. We can't use siren sound effects on the radio, so we'll use other equally jarring sound effects to get your attention. Like telling you that whether you drive a little over the speed limit or a lot, you can crash just the same. You could hurt yourself or worse, others.
I'm at the scene of the collision.
And the damage you cause will be beyond repair. See? We didn't have to use crash or siren sounds after all. Speeding catches up with you. Brought to you by NHTSA.
Stock up on hot deals with 11% off at Menards. Pick up a 16-pack of 60-watt general-purpose LED light bulbs. Just $7.99 after rebate. That's just 50 cents per bulb. Save big while supplies last on Crescent 10-inch circular saw blades. Other stores have them for $27. At Menards, they're just $6.99 after 11% off. Hurry in, these won't last long. Good through July 23rd. Savings are mail-in rebate. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
Okay, so website's done.
Okay, great. But now we need to optimize it.
Optimize?
The build it and they will come mindset doesn't really work here.
Uh-huh. So what do we need to do?
There's SEO, paid search, social media, text and mobile marketing, and...
Yeah. We're going to need some help.
There's SEO, SEM, targeted display, location targeting, social media advertising, OTT, and CTV. We have expertise that will get your business noticed, allowing you to focus more on your business. Go to alphadigitaldayton.com. That's alphadigitaldayton.com or call 937-519-0035.
Attention Dayton car shoppers. You need to see Chevrolet of Troy today for the absolute lowest prices in Dayton. We beat any dealer's price with thousands off MSRP. Over 300 vehicles in stock and ready to go. It's the best in the region. We always accept employee and supplier pricing and make financing easy. Customer service is our top priority. A full service, state-of-the-art dealership and absolute best selection make Chevrolet of Troy your best choice. 1375 South Market Street and online at ChevroletofTroy.com.
Cordell Transportation is now hiring Class A CDL drivers. Excellent pay, benefits, and a $5,000 sign-on bonus. Apply today. Online at CordellTransportation.com. Driven to succeed.
Here come the Thunderbirds. Experience Dayton's biggest and best summer party at the Center Point Energy Dayton Air Show, presented by Kroger, July 22nd and 23rd at Dayton International Airport. This year's show features military and civilian demonstrations, historic aircraft, food and fun, along with hands-on interactive events, including flight and ride experiences. Tickets available while supplies last at DaytonAirShow.com. Get discount general admission tickets at area Kroger stores.
Timothy's Bar and Grill on Brown Street are huge supporters of the Dayton Flyers. Whether you're one of the 13,000 fans cheering on the Flyers at UD Arena or one of the hundreds of fans packed inside Tim's on game day, there is only two places that you can feel the passion of the Flyer faithful more than anywhere else. Timothy's Bar and Grill is also a sponsor of the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash in the afternoons and the Talking Out Loud Hour on Thursday nights with Sully. Timothy's Bar and Grill on Brown Street. Go Flyers. Sports injury, low back pain, or are you interested in improving your performance and getting to the next level? Orion Sports Medicine is truly a unique sports medicine and physical therapy clinic and training facility. We offer a highly educated staff that is experienced working with athletes from the recreational and youth levels to elite professionals. We offer services that include PT, functional assessment, wellness, fitness, return to sports, sports medicine, strength and conditioning, and more at our state-of-the-art facility in Miamisburg. For more information, visit orionsportsmedicine.com.
Millions protect their homes with Generac generators. Generator Supercenter, the nation's #1 Generac generator dealer, has franchise opportunities available. GeneratorFranchise.com.
Have live here on Dayton's ESPN radio station, 1410 Wing AM. WWE Friday Night Smackdown going to be live here in Dayton coming up here in a few weeks, August 4th at Wright State University's Nutter Center. You can get tickets at Ticketmaster.com. But I want to bring in our next guest, WWE superstar. We got Mr. Montez Ford hanging out with us. Montez, welcome in, buddy. How are you?
Good. How are you doing, boss? I appreciate you.
Oh, no, listen. So we have former athletes, current athletes, Hall of Famers, coaches, and I love that. I enjoy that. But as a kid, I've been a wrestling fan since I was a little kid, watching it with my dad and everything. So I always get more jacked for WWE superstars coming on the show than anybody else. So I'm beyond happy to have you on today.
I appreciate it. You said beyond jacked. I see the arms, man. You got to send me the arm routine after we get finished having the meeting. So, yeah.
My arms?
Yeah, you said you get jacked for WWE superstars. You look pretty jacked. So what's going on, man? You got to send me the arm routine when we get finised.
Yeah, we'll see about that. We'll see. I'm kind of 5'5" and fat, so I don't really have a whole lot of athletic prowess to brag about at the moment. But no, let's WWE gonna be live here in Dayton in a few weeks. I'm really excited about that, as is all wrestling fans here in the area. WWE's hot right now, and you could tell just by the fans and obviously attendance at these events. You guys are so locked in on what you do, but can you tell right now that you're in a very hot moment in WWE right now?
Absolutely. As you saw last Friday on Smackdown, I was invited to have a chat with Mr. Almighty Bobby Lashley. And I don't kiss and tell, but, eventually it's going to be some changes happening to make sure we get back in the swing of things and start being successful. Me and Docs haven't won the tag team championships in over 2 years. So maybe this talk and guidance from Bobby could lead to some positive things in the future.
Obviously, being a part in any program is a huge deal. You like being in and this had nothing to do with Dawkins, but you like being in the tag team field. You want to get to that singles push at some point. You just, right now, where are you at in your career?
Yeah, I embrace it all, boss. Like, I feel like every day is very cherishable, and like we have to make the best of any moment that's given to us. And like right now, like that's the task at hand. And like eventually when it does happen, like I'll put my primary focus to that. But with the tag team happening right now, I feel like if I shift my focus anywhere else, I won't get the success that I should get within the tag team. So, but I'm still preparing for both ends because you never know.
Yeah. Hey, did you grow up a wrestling fan? How'd you get into wrestling?
Man, I've been watching this it's been 24 years now. I started watching it when I was about 8 or 9 years old. And I remember my mom had it on DirecTV. And the first person I saw was actually the Godfather. He was walking out with Tom. It was his entourage. And I just seen the way the crowd and everyone was so vibrant with him. And I'm like, what is this environment? And like from that moment on, I was just hooked, man. It was just crazy. Just the environment, the fans, all the signs, the participation. Like it's like a give and take. And that's the beautiful thing about what we do. It's always a give and take. It's like a giant party between the W superstars and the audience.
I've talked to Pat McAfee in the past about this, and obviously he played in the NFL. He makes fun. I'm just a punter, blah blah blah. But he talked about like playing in massive games and just the environment, the experience of running out into a field before a big game. He goes, he gets goosebumps thinking about that, but nothing touches what it's like running out in front of a jacked WWE fan base or whatever in these huge stadiums or arenas or wherever these shows are. When you walk through that curtain, goosebumps, like what is it that kind of goes through your body? Because I could tell you feed off that energy. You're one of the most energetic superstars in WWE. You could just tell just the way you present yourself. What is that feeling like coming out through that curtain?
I appreciate that, man. It's so I always tell, because me and my wife talk about it all the time, like I never get nervous. I get anxious because like, that time period before your music hits and you go out, it's always that anxious point of just wanting to get out there and just wanting to feed off the crowd, because that energy is infectious. And like he said, Pat's not lying, man. Like there's no other feeling of having an entire arena in the palm of your hands and evoking an emotion, whether that emotion is a good emotion or a bad emotion, a shocked emotion, and like just evoking an emotion. And it's such a powerful thing, like what we do, the stuff that we do in the ring, the stuff, the promo segments, the storylines, everything is so infectious, and it's a give and take type of thing. And like just the participation and how everyone is so invested right now just makes it really good to be not just a wrestling fan, but a wrestler or a sports entertainer as well. And like this show in Dayton is a really big show. I don't know if you realize, but it's August. It's the day before SummerSlam. And then we all know on the go home shows, that's when the biggest and best things always happen. So I'm really glad and fortunate that it's going to be in Dayton, Ohio. Ohio is such a big sports just state in general. And with Dawkins being from Cincinnati, it should be a good night.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I'm a big Cleveland Browns. I have the Bengals helmet kind of hid back here, but yes, I always love when you guys come when he comes out all decked out in the Cincinnati stuff. I think when you guys were in Cincinnati last, he came out in the orange and the stripes and all that stuff. So yeah.
It's just Ohio is such a like I said, a great sports state. Like you guys have so many teams, and granted, it hasn't been unfortunate with the success, until recently, but it's good to see you all still invested behind your teams. That's the very loyal fans.
Who are your teams?
So I'm all Chicago. So White Sox, Bears, Blackhawks, anything Chicago, Bulls. And then I'll also say I'm a huge fan of the Carolina Panthers because I grew up there, high school there too. So those are all my teams. Everything Chicago and then the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah, we're Ohio State heavy over here too, so we're a big fan of your quarterback with Mr. Justin Fields.
Oh yeah, big time. And I'm glad he's there. I feel like the team's going to build around him. He's such a great guy, super talented, and I'm very excited to see like what the Bears actually do with him in the next few years. And I'm glad we didn't move to Arlington because it was talk about us actually going and moving the stadium. So I'm glad they actually came up with a proposition deal to keep them in Chicago.
All right, Montez, before we let you go again, WWE superstar Montez Ford hanging out with us here, Kenner and Kev, 1410 ESPN Radio. For those who have not been to a WWE event, what should they expect? You talked about the Go Home show coming up on August 4th, it's WWE Smackdown here at Wright State University's Nutter Center the night before SummerSlam. I mean, this is big time, as you talked about, but for those who've never been to an event, walk them through, try to explain it the best you can is what they're going to experience.
What they're going to experience is the go home before SummerSlam. And some people, SummerSlam is obviously probably, if not a bigger pay-per-view or a just as big pay-per-view or premium live event as WWE WrestleMania. And this right here is the kickoff. This is the last show before the premium live event in Detroit. It's Friday Night Smackdown, August 4th in the Nutter Center, and we getting nuts. So no pun intended. And the tickets start at $20. That's 2 number 10s on Burger King. You can see all of your favorite WWE superstars, past, present, and future. And with everything that's happening right now in the WWE, with Dominic Mysterio winning the North American Championship with NXT last night, it's no telling who can show up.
Now, you're married to Bianca Belair, correct?
Yes, sir.
What is that like, sharing the same profession? I mean, that allows you guys to, have a healthy marriage, right? You guys get to spend a lot of time together.
Yes, man, it's a good thing. And it makes it so much easier because, like, whenever these big moments happen for both of us, we're actually there for the big moments and we never miss anything. So it's always a good thing. We talk a lot, actually. We talk about pretty much everything, the highs, the lows, the peaks, the valleys. And it's always good to like go through life doing your dream with the woman of your dreams. So it's a great thing, man.
All right, good stuff. Montez Ford, WWE superstar. Looking forward to seeing him and all the great superstars live here in Dayton, Wright State University's Nutter Center. And, you're showing the cup. What do people not want? Or want, I should say?
Well, it's August 4th, right before WWE SummerSlam in Detroit. And we will be there in search of the smoke. Because we want the smoke.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Montez, you the man. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you, boss. Have a safe one.
Appreciate you.
Boss, I'll see you in Dayton, man.
Sounds good. Thanks.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash on 1410 ESPN Radio.
Jason Aldean. Highway Desperado Tour 2023. This Friday, Riverbend Music Center.
And that's what tequila does.
With Mitchell Tenpenny.
You're strong, me, can't get over.
And Corey Kitt. Jason Aldean. Presented by Wolf Moon Bourbon.